There is really an interesting dynamic that is happening to a lot of us in the collective. What do I mean by the collective? The collective is all of us. And you'll hear that word often, especially in spiritual communities. And it is around unwinding our programs. And a lot of you may not be aware that as relationships and friendships are dying, as maybe opportunities in your life that you once had are leaving, you're actually unwinding programs. And when you do this, it can trigger a somatic physical response in the body that's triggering the fight or flight of if you are safe or not. So there's a really interesting piece, especially with my NLP background, that from the ages of 0 to 7, 8, 9-ish, depending on where you find your research, it depends on what they believe as far as when this happens. But when we are children, when we are younger, most of our views and beliefs of the world are formed, which means most of the limiting beliefs of how the world works and how we relate to the world are formed in that very young formative period of time. So let's say someone has some sort of trauma in their youth. Most of us have had some sort of trauma. And in that trauma, you created this limiting belief about yourself that was X. I'm unworthy. I'm unworthy of living a healthy, beautiful life. I am unlovable. I am unwanted. People who have had severe trauma in their youth will actually find safety in that trauma because that is what they had when they were young. So the interesting dynamic is as we grow through life and we get older and we get to more where we're being more conscious creators of our reality, and especially with the phase of life that we're in right now, and especially with the way that the astrals are supporting us in like kind of pushing us through this refiner's fire of what has worked is no longer working. And as these things kind of start coming up and we're making different choices of what we want in our lives, whether we want it or not, some, like I said, some relationships are naturally dying. Maybe others are there's just trauma that's coming up. Things are naturally falling out of our life and it may feel really traumatic. Here's the kicker. When you're asking for a different way of being in the world and the universe is supporting you in this, I speak to this all the time. It won't feel comfortable. There's nothing about it that's going to feel comfortable because you've never been here. And what will happen, you'll actually have this place. I like this analogy of a boat where we have our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. And in a boat, let's imagine that the conscious mind is at the front steering the boat. It's chartering the boat. It's the captain. This is where we're going. And the rowers all behind is the subconscious mind. Well, for however long, you've charted a path in a certain direction, the conscious mind has. Well, when the conscious mind becomes aware of something in the subconscious and says, you know what? I don't want to create this pattern anymore. I don't want to do this thing anymore. So it says, now we're going to go this direction. We're going to go over here. Well, all the rowers behind the subconscious mind starts freaking out a little bit. Hey, wait a second. We've been going over here and here was safe. Even if it was not what we wanted, it was safe. We didn't die. The whole job really of the subconscious mind is to keep you alive. Even in the discomfort, the trauma, the pain, the abuse, even in those patterns and those places, it still kept you safe. You're alive, aren't you? So if you're asking for something different, the subconscious mind, the rowers of the boat go, wait a second, and try to go over to where we were. But the conscious mind is like, nope, we're going over here. I promise you it's safe. We're okay. So as they're steering this direction and you try to start to get the subconscious mind on board with it, what can happen with the body is it will literally trigger a somatic experience. And what I see is you can see it through the nervous system, through the sushumna, the central column, where it starts triggering these somatic, like we're going to die, physical actually manifestations saying, hey, we're going to die. Don't go that direction. And so if you're at a place in your life right now where you wonder, you feel like you're getting sick, you're having more panic attacks, you feel like this, holy shit, I'm going to die. Especially if things are changing in your world and you're asking for them to change. And you may not be asking for them to change, but the universe is supporting you and going a different direction. I'm going to invite you, to understand that you're not dying. You're not dying. You're not dying. To take a breath, use the breath. The breath is one of the biggest tools that we have, that is the simplest tools that we have. When you feel that panic, when you feel that wave of really massive discomfort, allow yourself to breathe, welcome it in, and allow for that emotion of whatever it is to come in and move through the body. There's two schools of thought, and I just interviewed a podcast guest that spoke to something a little bit different that I hadn't heard before. And if you're interested in listening to that podcast, it's on my Leaving Religion, a Guide podcast, and it's with Karen Terra's episode 52. And she shares, with an emotion, it only takes maybe 7 to 10 seconds for it to actually move through. Karen shared that on a somatic experience, when we actually breathe in and welcome in that emotion that's coming in without thought, without judgment, we just welcome it. We don't need to attach to what this is or why it's coming in, just letting it come in. It actually moves through the physical body. I think she said it comes through the adrenals and it moves through all the different parts of the physical body to push that emotion all the way through. It takes 90 seconds. 90 seconds, you guys. 90 seconds to actually really breathe in. Okay, I feel like I'm going to die. Holy crap. I'm breathing. I'm telling myself I'm safe. I'm safe. It's okay. We've got this. I know we're going somewhere different than we've ever been before, but we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. And everything's going to be okay. Breathe through it. And then keep moving and taking actions towards that thing that you're desiring in your life. And this is really important. If you do not know where you're going, get really clear on where you're wanting to go. If you don't know what it sounds like or what that thing is, what is a feeling that you want to have? If your world is very chaotic right now, do you desire peace? Maybe that is just what you want. That is your goal. I want more peace in my life. In the next month, 6 months, a year from now, excuse me, I desire to have more peace. And I would encourage you to have a dream. What do you want to create in life? What does your ideal world want to look like? And when these things come in and these pieces come in that are helping you to get to where you're wanting to go, a lot of times they're helping you in ways that you didn't understand or think would come in to help you. And sometimes it looks like relationships dying. Oftentimes it looks like relationships dying. And of course, that is extremely painful. But you're not dying. So many of us are going through and getting to really core roots of our programming and our belief systems. And especially if you have been someone that was raised in a religious affiliation with any religion, there's a lot of programming that happens. And within the United States, it is so embedded in Christianity, and Christianity taught what? Jesus suffered for our sins. He was put on a cross. And I speak about this, and I actually wrote about it in my book, Leaving Religion, about living in the shadow of the cross. So whether you are religious or not, there's still this embedded belief within the consciousness, within the land, that, hey, if I actually step out against my tribe, against the belief systems, and do more of what I feel like is in alignment with me, it will cost me my life. So there's an element of that touches in on all these pieces of, hey, what happens if I actually go follow through with more of what my dreams are and not what society has been telling me I should be, I should do, I should look like, I should act like. There is a part of our programming that has many, many layers that has a deep-seated belief that it will kill you. It will not, my friends. We live in a day and an age where, one, we are asking to clear this out of our epigenetics more and deeper than we ever have, which is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it is not easy work. But the reason why it's not easy is because of our attachment to it. It can be easy because you can understand, and this is why I wanted to do this video. You can have the tools and the resources with you to know, A, I'm not crazy, I'm not dying, I'm not alone. And I just need to use my breath. When I have these emotions come in, breathe. Don't attach to it. Remind myself I'm not dying, everything's okay, and allow for the emotion to move through. The more tools and resources that we have, and the more networks we have and community that we have, you guys, we're going to create a more amazing world and planet for our children, for our children's children, because we're clearing the epigenetics. We're clearing the programs that run deep. They run very deep. And we're asking for a new way of how we want to engage in the world. And how amazing is that? Am I willing to go through some of these really painful pieces so that I can have a better world for myself, for my kids, and for my grandkids? Absolutely. I will do it every day, all day. And for me personally, the last 6 months, holy hell. If I didn't have the tools and the knowledge that I have, I don't know where I would be right this minute. But the things that are coming into my life, I know enough, and I have enough tools and enough resources to know what I know, to know what this is, to know that I'm clearing another layer of belief, and holy crap, it does hit the physical body on such a real level. And I can still move forward in it. So here are your steps, my friends. What do we do? A, know you're not alone. B, know you're not alone in this, and that so many people are moving through a place of hitting deep, deep core beliefs, core wounds and core beliefs. And you're asking to let them go. And with letting them go, it's almost like allowing for that anchoring, those little roots that have rooted in your system to actually be ripped out. And with the unplugging, with the ripping out, like I said, it can allow for your physical body to freak out. It's okay. Remind yourself that you're okay, you're safe, everything's going to be okay. If you need deeper help and you need someone, there are so many of us out there that can support you. I have I'm currently taking on 3 to 4 new clients that are wanting to step into a 3-month program that really deep dives into all their deep-seated beliefs. And it's really my breakthrough program, and it's a really beautiful program. I also have a mastermind group that I am starting November 27th, that this one is crazy affordable. If you are in a place of wanting to learn and how to hone your gifts more, how to use them out in the world, how to create a vision and actually get to where you're wanting to go, how to chart that path and know how to take inspired action and have a community and a network, this group is for you. It starts November 27th. It's only $222 each month for 3 months. We meet 1 time a week via Zoom, and we have a daily chat group that we will connect with. This is a very, very empowering group, and I would highly recommend you go jump on that offering, because I will not do it this cheap again. And that website, if you go to my website, amandajoyloveland.com/elevated mastermind, you can get more information and get registered today. And then there are so many other healers and so many other modalities out there that can assist you to get to where you're wanting to go. Oftentimes in life, we see life through the blinders in which we have been moving. And when we want something different, if there's something hanging out here, we necessarily can't see it, right? It's here. Here's my vision, and I can't quite see what's right here. This is why we have help. This is why we have communities, why we have networks, why we have even friends, why we have therapists to talk to. And healers, especially healers. Since I'm an NLP practitioner and a shaman, I highly, highly recommend those 2 modalities, because I know that they work. I see it every day with my clients, with myself. So reach out. There's so many people that can help you, but no, you're not alone, my friends. You've got this. Breathe. Tell yourself you're safe, and keep taking inspired action to get where you're wanting to go. Sending you all so much love. If this was helpful, please comment, please like it, please share it, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to build this and share more of these little pieces just to remind us that these are things that, goodness sakes, how many of us wish we would have known some of these things when we were younger, like these tools with how to just allow for emotions to come in, not to act on emotions, but how to just allow them to move. I'm going to do another video about love, about emotions, about the heart, and how it's actually not, when we talk about leading from the heart and following the heart, that's not always good advice. And I'll share why in my heart-led, I don't know what I'm going to call it, but my video around the heart and emotions. Anyway, I will stop talking. Sending you all love. No, you're not alone. Like, share, subscribe, comment.